Hello viewers! So a few weekends ago now, lockdown had just finished and it was time to go out and about. The first thing that I wanted to do was get down to a pay and play site to get some proper mud. So on with the mud tyres. And I probably should have put a hat on as well, but that's fine. I'm proud of being bald. It shows my wisdom. Anyway, it was a lovely drive down, absolutely stunning day. Like the first really nice sunny day in a while. We headed down to Slindon Safari in Slindon, surprisingly, and there was a massive queue. There were over 100 people there that day. As I say, the first day it was open since lockdown started. So yeah, it was about an hour in the queue, but it was totally worth it, and it was a good chance to air down the tyres and have a catch up. I went down with a friend called Steve in his Grand Vitara. I was in my Jimny. My Jimny has a 4-inch suspension lift. Steve's Vitara is pretty much stock, apart from a homemade rock slider on the front of dubious origin. The Vitara basically goes everywhere the Jimny goes, and it's very embarrassing. So we got down there and we were off for our first day of proper driving in a while, and the Vitara got stuck. But it's fine, because I am basically Superman. Well, I'm not. I need a bit more weight on me, I think, for that to work. Getting a little bit of movement there. Yes, I barely touched it. I don't think I did really much of anything there, but I'll pretend I did. That's fine. Anyway, aside from that little hiccup, we got to it, just playing around in the little playground by the car park there. That was great stuff. Nice dry day, so there was mud when you wanted mud, but there was plenty of just technical driving without sloppy mud. Suited us fine for a while. There we go. Mighty Jimny can do anything. Lots of people on the site, but the site is so big that we just didn't notice. You could be in an area and have it all to yourself, and just not realise that there were 98 other cars driving around. It was fantastic. Also, it turns out that 4-wheel drive really does help with getting around. So let's try that, shall we? There we go.
It's easier in 4-wheel drive.
So lots of playing around, just getting used to bumping around in the car a bit more and testing out what we could do, making sure everything was still bolted on, and getting used to driving around with loads of other cars around as well. You know, where there were other cars around, your head was on a swivel, making sure that you weren't going to run into anything. Anyway, then we went off for a little poodle around, and this is called the A27 bank because it's a bank by the A27. Excuse the edit there. Steve jumped out. He was hearing some weird noise coming from one of his wheels, so he jumped out to have a look. Couldn't see anything. It's pretty much a choose your own adventure kind of site. You know, there's loads of tracks around, tracks coming off of tracks, and yeah, none of this worrying about off-piste that you get on byways. But yeah, so Steve was still having some weird sound, so I got out to help. I offered my advanced engineering knowledge and said, I can't see anything, it's probably alright. And then, realised we were down the bottom of the bank. There was a big muddy bog hole ahead, which neither of us particularly fancied at that point. So we thought we probably ought to get up the top of the bank again.
Could be an issue.
Which was pretty steep.
Oh, so close.
Probably worth mentioning again that Grand Vitara is basically unmodified. The ground clearance is normal. The wheels, I think, are road wheels on it. I don't think they're even ATs.
Vehicle up top. You're right.
But it does it. Look at it go. What a beast. And the nice thing about Steve going ahead is in his Vitara is that I can be pretty confident that I can do exactly the same thing. And then we went down again. And Steve got stuck again. I used my superhuman strength to push him off the edge. And was never seen again. Oh no, there it is. So then, yes, I found another little path down this bank to go down. Nice and steep with sloshy mud at the bottom. So at this point we were thinking, right, okay, it's time for some proper challenges. Challenging when you can't see where you're going because the bonnet's in the way. So just making sure that I was on track.
Oh yeah.
Down I went. You can probably see this track isn't used all that much on the way down. For good reason. Really tight bend at the bottom into this horrible mud. This mud was it was either 100% slop with no traction at all, or absolutely solid with no give to it. Tyres would just they dig in and then they'd stay there. Just refuse to move.
I did it again. Oh, good.
It smelled good though. Really, really good smelling mud. Lovely to have stuck in my hair. Yes, and this is the point that I realised I made a bit of a boo-boo. But no fear, I'll bite my lips to add 20% extra traction.
Oh, it's still running. Good.
Probably should have thought about putting my window up at this point. Steve probably shouldn't be standing there. Nope. That's mud. Yep. Mud.
Good. Right. Let's have a look.
I got out, appraised the situation, and decided I would continue doing the same thing I'd been doing before. Which didn't work, surprisingly. No matter what stupid face I pulled.
Got to wait.
And now I have the genius idea of rolling up the window, now that my cabin is completely caked in mud. Idiot. So, time for the wellies, and bringing Steve's Vitara around to try and drag me back out up the hill. Which wasn't easy. The track behind me was very deeply rutted, and there was a tree across it, so not much room to manoeuvre, and it's pretty steep as well, obviously. Nice shot of my arse there. You're welcome. Okay, so let's see what we can do with
the
mighty power of the Grand Vitara behind me.
Cool, I'll use them as signal. If they go off, I'll stop.
That's cool. A little bit of movement. Not quite. This is what happens if you get the window caked in mud and then roll it down. Absolutely useless. Okay, here we go. Lovely. Look at that mud. And give it a proper one more. It's in the mud. It's fine, it's what it's there for. So at this point, the tree was blocking Steve pulling me back any further. I thought I could maybe have a go at getting out from here. So Steve just had to get out of where he was. And he was stuck. And the camera doesn't do it justice, just quite how sketchy an angle he's at right now. I mean, you can see his roof just about from here. It was on the edge of being just too much. I was standing behind a tree whilst giving him words of encouragement. Yeah, you can just see me behind the headrest there, cowering behind a tree. Yeah, so properly stuck. We got the shovels out. They're already out to try and help me getting out, but they didn't. But here they actually worked. Managed to soften up the rut there a little bit. And he managed to climb out and get himself completely stuck. Right, so Steve's completely stuck. He managed to flag down a kind passing vehicle and beg for a tow out of there. So he's getting his strap hooked up to them. Except, yeah, there's a tree in the way now, so we cleared it out of the way, he got pulled up, and I flagged down after a lot more rocking and rolling around in the mud, and getting a bit worn out. There was a lovely guy passing by with a winch on the front of his absolute machine, and winched me up the hill. I haven't been winched before. At this point, it's worth mentioning I burnt the clutch out. So I had no power, and I was a bit worried about getting home. But today I learned that clutches can cool down and they're pretty much fine again. It's going to have a shorter life, but it's not as big of a deal as I was worried about it being. But yeah, really cool to be winched out.
Yeah, I'll see if I can drive it up there. If you want. If you have to do that. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Not a great feeling at that point, but it was fine. Engine's already on.
And yep, again trying to start the engine while it's already running. And then actually stalling it. I'm so used to stalling it, I just assume that it's stalled.
Keep going this way, you can. Left that down. Come on.
Yeah, so thank you very much, kind stranger. I would have been stuck down there for quite a while,
Cheers, lads.
if not
Jesus.
terminally. This is a photo of the damage, so you can see the bumpers come away. And yeah, a little bit of mud. It's nice, you know, cosmetic. Only cosmetic damage. And now I need to get a new bumper, so bring on a nice winch bumper, I think. And then Steve got stuck again because he was feeling left out. And this time I eventually managed to recover him. Not all that much power in the Jimny, but it gets there eventually. Come on, you bugger. Here we go, this time. Not this time. One more. There we go, it's out. Loads of just so much varied little segments of track around. Some really great hills around this a little bit. Are they hills or like mounds? I don't know. But just so much fun to spend an hour just driving into trees. Idiot. I was really impressed with what Jimny can manage. There's some really interesting cross-axle stuff going on here, but it just floats over it like it's not there. Of course, embarrassingly, Steve in his unmodified Vitara is right behind me doing the exact same things I'm doing. I didn't quite find the right level of challenge for the Jimny this weekend. There are places it can go. There is a winch only area where I think a lot of the fun is to be had, and I haven't got a winch just yet. So that's next on the list before we go back again, I think. This is a little sidetrack that we've decided to explore. Really steep going up. So at this point I realise that I'm just over the edge of a drop, and if someone else is coming along, I'm not entirely sure they'd see me before going over the edge. So I'm hoping Steve gets up here fairly quickly. Almost. Oh, so close. More of a run up than that. I wasn't really expecting to get up there, but it got further than I thought, just, you know, going straight at it. Yeah, it just scrambles up like a little mountain goat. Mighty machine. do love the sound of dried branches scratching at my paintwork. So this was Slindon. This is drawing to a close. Absolutely fantastic day. So good to be out again. I'm back in the Jimny. Really taking it through its paces. And great to lose that front bumper. I have to say, I have been looking for an excuse to get a winch bumper. And finally I have one. So expect something on that fairly soon. It's in... I've ordered it. I'm not entirely sure what's going on. Apparently the guy who makes them broke his leg and has been in hospital for a while. I thought they were just imported from China. We shall see. I'm not casting any aspersions there. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'll try and get a video up of it. And the next big adventure is heading up to Wales in a few weeks' time. Doing some byways around there and camping. Whoa! Easy. Absolutely fantastic day. Thank you very much for watching. I will try and get some more videos out soon. I'll try and improve the camera work a bit rather than just a single static shot out the windscreen. Try and get something a bit more dynamic going on. Anyway, enough waffling from me.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.
Four-wheel drive.